Well, hello there. It's Puck. Good to see you. How's everybody doing? What's everybody been up to? Trying to smile. Obviously, it's been a tough few months and few weeks and few days for me. You're watching this right now on pucksports.com. That's the new venture. That's the new place. You're going to catch all the content. We're going to explain more of it. I'm going to explain more of it coming up here shortly. But I just wanted to talk to you guys, the listeners out there, the viewers out there. Sorry for all of this. Sorry that what has happened and what has taken place, and thank you for all of thank you for all the comments and all the well wishes and everything that you have said on social media about not only myself but about Jim. It has been extremely, extremely humbling to read all of the well wishes. I don't. I hope you may have just a little bit of understanding of how good it has made us feel. I mean, we wish it was under different circumstances, obviously, but it is not lost on us the amount of outpouring of support and love that you have all shared with us. That I don't think that I know myself. I don't think I'll ever. I don't want to speak for Jim, but I don't think I can ever repay you. I mean, I think Jim would say the same thing. So, but it has been just a whirlwind of the last few days, for sure. And I do want to say that I feel for the people that we used to work with. I know it's, not easy to go through that. I've been on that side so many times in this industry where somebody is let go, and you kind of have to sit there and answer all the questions for them and about them and what people are saying about the place where you work at. And you're like, I didn't have anything to do with it. And you have to wear it and own it. And it's unfortunate, and it shouldn't be that way. But the reality of this business, it's like that. I've gone through it so many times, me personally, obviously, with co-hosts, that it's hard because there's things that you want to say, but you can't say because you're not allowed to say it. You're not allowed to say the truth because, of legal things and such. But I just want to take a few minutes here before I tell you what's coming up on this show and what you're going to about to watch and what you're about to listen to and what you're going to get here in the future. Is just an enormous thank you to all of you out there, because since I was a little kid, about 12 years old, I wanted to do two things. I wanted to do three things. I wanted to eat. Number two, I wanted to talk sports, and number three, I've just always wanted to entertain. And I think that's what I've tried to do for 22 years working at KJR, was just try to entertain and make people laugh as much as possible. And I've always been that way since I was a little kid, class clown, trying to make people laugh, trying to, stir the what. And I know I can swear on this platform, but I'm so conditioned not to swear. It's unbelievable. And I think we did it. I think I did it. And I'm excited to keep doing it. I have in my core is an entertainer, I guess. That's just something I've always wanted to do. It's what I love about kind of live performance, is just the thrill of it. How scared you can be from it and how you can put yourself out there. And I think there's nothing better than kind of that. And that's what we're going to do here. And that's what we're going to try to continue. I'm going to take what I have learned over the years, and I'm going to apply it to, I think, a new age of media. Not like we're reinventing the wheel. I mean, lots of people have done this and tried this, and I've executed this, but just a full transparency of just everything. I mean, this has been a process and something that I have been thinking about working on for several years. I many of us in our industry, especially in our time slot and middays, we thought during COVID we were all going to be let go because of kind of the changing landscape and of things and where we were headed, and revenue not coming in and no sports to talk about. There was no end in sight. So, I had thought way back then, what's the next adventure? How do I take this to another level? And this was kind of always the idea of what to do, and how do I make it better? From what people have done before and the differences, and we all steal from each other and we learn from each other, but how do I take what somebody else does and apply it here and make it better or make it different? Not necessarily make it better, but how do you make it different? And that's what I'm going to try and do here under this new venture, pucksports.com. You'll hear me talk about it. I'll be saying it a lot. You're going to be able to find us on YouTube, watch us, this pretty face, this pretty background, pucksports.com on YouTube. Just search Puck Sports. You're going to be listening to it on Apple Podcasts, searching Puck Sports, Spotify, Puck Sports, anywhere where you find your podcast. God, I get to say that now. How thrilled am I to say and listen to anywhere you get your podcast? And maybe this will play someplace, and then there'll be a host who will sit there and make fun of it and be like, why would I ever listen to that? And hopefully someone will be playing this promo if there's ever a chance it plays, and somebody can have a snooze button. I think that would be funny. I would prefer that if someone would make light of it. But I wanted to just take a few minutes before I set up what's happening on this episode that you're going to get. It's kind of the teaser episode. Is it's a full baseball kind of show today with a bunch of different guests. I can't wait for you to get the last guest, because the last guest is somebody I've been waiting to talk to for about 10 years. He's short, he's angry, but he's a dear, dear friend and loyal to the core. I just want to take you briefly back to last week. I don't want to get too much of the weeds. I'm not here to lay any blame or point any fingers at anybody. It's just not, I don't want to do that. There's too many good people that I have worked with and that don't want to drag in to this. And it was a process that was at times handled fine and perfectly. And then just other times it, got to a point where it just went on too long. But that's corporate media, and that's just what happens. It's just these things get dragged a long time. But I'd been out without a contract since about January, and we had just been working hard at it to get it done. A lot of extensions to the end of the deal, original deal. When I was away from the station, that was something that we and the station agreed upon, just to kind of take a breather, move out, and just kind of see if we could get something done. And we were all hopeful that we would. And all signs were pointing towards we were going to get something done. I was only supposed to be away for a couple of days, and it was going to be resolved real soon. But unfortunately, as these things sometimes happen, it just went a little bit longer. And, eventually when, I was away, and actually this time truthfully on vacation down in Arizona, that we had received the deal, and it was what we wanted. But unfortunately, with that news, a few hours later came the dismissal from corporate, that Jim had lost his job. And obviously there was a mix of emotions with that for me, and wrestled with it and the decision, what I would do. And I had good conversations with Jim and others. And Jim certainly was appreciative of anything I wanted to do. But it was hard for me to move forward with the understanding. And I just want you, the listener, to know this, that there's nothing nefarious behind the scenes or any of that. I couldn't fight the perception more than anything that I had received a new deal, while at the same time, my partner and good friend and guy I love to death, grew up reading, when I was a little kid, and he was much, much, much older than me. And it was a hard reality. I kind of, me personally, the loyalty that I have, I couldn't kind of live with myself, even know that Jim knew that what the truth was, and that he knew I didn't do anything behind the scenes to get a new deal, and I didn't care if he was there or not there. And but I just couldn't have you, the listener, or even people I worked with, think that was the case. And it was hard for me to envision doing the show kind of without him for a while. And there was going to be a time when Jim was going to step away, and it was going to be at the end of the year when he was going to be done. And he kind of got an extension, or had got a verbal kind of extension on what he was going to do, and when he was going to step down. And about the end of the year was when he was going to ride off onto the sunset and kind of live down there in Bend full time. And so I was excited going into this contract negotiation, knowing that I'd have at least one more year, or 9 more months with him. And but it was, abruptly kind of taken away. And so, it just kind of changed my timeline of what I wanted to do and kind of where I felt I was at. And again, as I kind of started this off, I was kind of thinking about this move. It's kind of the new wave of media, and how we can now, as broadcasters, and I think any broadcaster out there, that we can deliver stuff to people directly. And if we've got the passion and the courage to do it, we can. And I have all those, and I'm super motivated right now, and I can't wait. I've probably been busier now than I've ever been in the last 48 hours or so. And So I'm excited about what this product has the capability to deliver and what it's going to look like, what it's going to sound like, the people that are behind this, uh, financially as well. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful to a lot of different people. I'm thankful to a lot of guests that you heard throughout the years on my show. They're going to be back. Jim Duquette, MLB Network Radio. I can't thank Andy Largent, Flatstick and flatstickpub.com. Check them out. Flatstick is just a beautiful, beautiful company and have supported me over the last few years, and especially Andy. And I just want to give a shout out to Andy. If he's listening and you're watching, thank you. I love you to death, and I just appreciate the courage and just the chance you're kind of taking on me and Jim. Um, to Mike Garafolo of NFL Network, who from day one was in, locked, loaded. I'm explaining to him what's going on, and he's kind of, kind of tired of listening to me talk, and he just said, "Stop it! I'm with you. My loyalty is to you." And I love Mike to death, and he has just become, a guy that we used to have on all the time. Now has just become a friend, and so thank you to Mike at the NFL Network, but also thank you to the two guys in particular, well, the two guys that make it happen, Jamie Hartley and Andrew Herzog. Jamie, they're at Hartley and Hartley Insurance University Place. All your insurance needs down there. Jamie has been awesome. And the second I brought this idea up to him, Jamie, again, no hesitation. In. Nope, don't say anymore. I'm in. Andrew Herzog, despite being a Duck, I can't really hate him that much because he's a Duck. I mean, we have a mutual hatred, obviously. And Andrew, same way. And don't have to twist my arm. I'm doing it. Zog's on Fox Island. Check it out if you're down there in the South End. Chris Egan will be back with us with your sunshine and everything on Fridays or maybe floating days. We're kind of still working at kind of the schedule on all of that and how it will shape up starting next week when we get underway in full force. But to Zach at Fat Zach's Pizza down there in the South End, Zach, again, same thing. I'm in. Don't you don't got to give me too much information. I ride with you. I ride with Chris, and again, just a loyalty that Zach showed in this scenario to be a sponsor of this a new media venture is awesome. And Rob Staten, and Rob, who we've got to know over the last really few months. Rob's been an integral part of us and what we had been doing on the radio side, and now he's going to jump over here with me on the digital side. And Rob is a superstar, and you guys know that. I mean, he's a bigger star than we'll ever be, and I can ever be. He is so good at what he does. He is so dialed into what he does. And again, Rob did not hesitate for a second to jump on board. And I want to thank John McMasters. Big thanks to John, Superior Linen Service, that will bring you Rob Staten every single week as we break down talking football. And I'm going to just tell you, no one that does it better. No one covers it better. No one has a better insight than him. And it's just going to be kind of fantastic to watch. Hopefully I don't forget anybody. John Canzano. John, just a rock star, an inspiration, an idol of mine, a guy that I've leaned on a great deal over the last few months, weeks, and days. And he's just has been a wealth of information, a source of great info and advice and backing, and a guy that you can look to as someone who was able to go out on his own and has had extreme amount of success. If I could just have a minuscule amount of success that John has had, I'm going to be fine. And I can't wait that he's on board, and with his knowledge and his friendship and leadership, I can't wait. I think I mentioned this before, but when I was 12 years old, I wanted to talk sports and entertain, and I've got a chance to do that for so long, and I've never wavered on that entertainment. I've never wavered on wanting to make people laugh, and it's not going to stop now. I'm going to continue to try and make people laugh and entertain you and talk about sports, but talk about everything. Talk about my kids, talk about my family, talk about my friends, and all the other things that you're grown accustomed to when you listen to the show and we open up and it's 20, 30 minutes of nonsense. It's going to carry over here. I'm an open book, always have been, always will be. I think it's the best thing about what we do in this business is to just provide a personality and a human element to it, just not cookie cutter radio and not cookie cutter broadcasting, because that's not what I am, and that's not what this is going to be. but I just want to thank you. The outpouring of support again, and the well wishes, and the thank yous, and the kind words. You just don't know what it means to hear people say good stuff about you, because there's a lot of negativity in this world, a lot, and a lot in this business at times, and we focus in on it too much. And I would just, my advice to anybody who's in this business or whatever, your public eye, is don't focus in on the negative and try to focus on the positive. But you hear more sometimes from the negative. But every one of you that have reached out, whether you somehow got my text, somehow got my phone number or not, but all the personal notes on social media, it just makes this decision to go in this direction the right one. And I hope you come along for the ride. I hope you support the ride. I hope you jump on. I want you to be interactive. This show's going to be interactive eventually. You are going to be as big a part of the success of this than anyone. And it's just going to be delivered differently to you. But I can't wait. So again, pucksports.com, YouTube, just search Puck Sports, on X social media, Puck 2040. 2040, that's the name of my media company, 2040 Media LLC. I want to give a big thanks to the Magnolia Belly, James, for helping me with that. You're a good friend, and you've really helped me along the way figure this stuff out, and I can't thank you enough for that. Big shout out to my buddy Mark, who is going to help with this website and illustrate this website, and it's beautiful work, and it's only going to get better. To all my friends back at the station, I love you to death, all of you, and I wish you nothing but success. I really, truly do. I love it. It's not going to like I'm shutting anybody off. I'm not. I'm jumping in the deep end of the pool, and I'm going to see if I can swim or sink. Based on my size, though, I should have buoyancy and probably float. So I think I'll be okay. But thank you all. Thank you to my family, my beautiful kids, my beautiful wife, with just unwavering support, and just never doubted the decision, never questioned it, never said you're making a mistake, nothing. Just were full on support. And that's what makes a difference in this world, when you got full on support from your family and your friends. And so it's a beautiful thing. I love all of you. Content starting. This is a special opening day show. You're going to hear from some great baseball guests. It's going to start off with Jim Duquette, MLB Network Radio. Again, all brought to you by Flatstick Pub. Visit flatstickpub.com. Great for parties, women events, men events, kid events, corporate parties. Flatstickpub.com. Say Andy sent you. Andy's the best. I think he used to play football at Wazoo. No one has ever, I don't think there's a record of it, but Andy goes with the story, so I think we let him have it. But go check it out. It's just an awesome place. Not only watch the Cougs, but to watch any sporting event and just any corporate parties, business parties, whatever you got. But it's a great place to just have a cold pint of beer and good food. And check out the new Pioneer Square location there as well. Got a brand new kitchen, focuses on pizza, and right in time for the start of opening day and all of that. You're going to hear from Jim Duquette. The last guest you're going to hear from today is a guy I've been waiting for about 10 years to talk to again. And he's a dear friend, and I can't wait for you all to hear us once again. Give us some time, because it's, before we get into baseball, we go down memory lane, and I love him to death. But I think you're going to be thrilled to be hearing him one more time with me, because I know I am. So please visit pucksports.com. Follow us on YouTube at Puck Sports. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast at Puck Sports, Amazon Podcast as well, wherever you find your podcasts, okay? Pucksports.com. Thank you, listeners. I love you so much. Pucksports.com.